Okay, I have an idea. We take a well-known villain that everybody loves and make this character a hero.
Brilliant!
Yeah, nothing new. Villains becoming good guys is a common and often welcome trend. Writing like this can excel in making the character more complex and three-dimensional, going from intimidating baddie to loved hero or anti-hero. After years of movies, video games, anime, every piece of media, I've noticed 3 ways this goes down. I am not talking about characters who become do-gooders at the end of their debut titles. So no Shadow, no Riku, no Ashi, and no Ebenezer Scrooge. Read the fine print. This video is about how villains later become good guys. You finish the first installment as a bad guy, and a sequel or 2 later, your transformation kicks off. Maybe the writers wanted the antagonist to turn over a new leaf, or the villain is just that dang popular we have to make them good guys. It can be done well, or nah. Method 1. Send in the bigger bad. You thought the current adversary was bad enough? Well, here comes an even more daunting foe that makes the previous guy look like a teddy bear. This is my favorite method for 2 reasons. 1. We get a brand new villain. The more the merrier, right? The creativity put into them would have to be extraordinary to outdo the first malefactor. Make them taller, scarier, give them a different superpower or moveset. And 2, the new villain can add layers to the older one. Show us how reasonable they can be by teaming up with their rival. The 2 now have a common enemy. The team up can be temporary or permanent. In simpler cases like the Showa-era Godzilla and Gamera movies, the titular monsters beat the more powerful and more ruthless kaiju and end the movies by leaving civilized areas, not trashing them. They don't do that anymore. The same doesn't work for Rexy from the Jurassic Park movies. Rexy is a Tyrannosaurus predator. She's aggressive and eats. After saving the protagonist from the raptors, by coincidence, she's popular enough to be reinvented into a clear-cut hero in the Jurassic World movies. She swoops in and fights the hybrid Indominus Rex, and in Fallen Kingdom, she saves Starla from a Carnotaurus, roars, and walks away. You're not gonna eat this guy? She does eat the main human antagonist though, but he's a bad guy so we don't mind. Gennaro had a wife and daughter, does no one care? She's nowhere near as three-dimensional as Godzilla. We looked into him as a character before he changed. Rexy started out as a simple animal with no leaning towards good or evil, and then she suddenly becomes a hero in 2015 and onwards. She wasn't a hero in 1993, the group got lucky that she was hunting prey. Don't get the wrong message from this scene. If the transition to hero isn't instant, then the older villain will go through a redemption arc. The new villain will spark a string of events that will culminate in a revelation that changes the former bad guy.
Dr. Evil's not your son. I am.
You both are.
Of course, I'm gonna have to wait until I see all the facts. Daddy!
One of my favorite redemption arcs is Piccolo's. At the end of the original Dragon Ball series, he was the final villain, and the strongest. In Dragon Ball Z, the arrival of the Saiyans demonstrates how small he is compared to the rest of the universe, influencing humility. He fights alongside his earthbound rivals, sacrifices himself to save his enemy's son, and hours into his second life, he takes the vile Frieza on.
Another proud Namekian soon to be begging for mercy just like all the rest.
Shut the hell up.
His development continues after the change to good. He fuses with his counterpart Kami, becoming whole again after centuries of separation. And aside from Goku, he's the go-to teacher for learning the fusion dance. He's now one of the most reliable characters and lives a peaceful life. The newer villains changed him. Vegeta is a more complicated case. His redemption wasn't as fast as Piccolo's, but it was in character. Vegeta started out as a petty tough guy who wanted the Dragon Balls for immortality. His defeat by the heroes was a major blow to his pride. Don't expect him to get over it anytime soon. In the next saga, Vegeta's goal of attaining immortality hasn't changed. His one-man war on Frieza was a segue for him to cooperate with the heroes. Despite that, he remains a selfish killer at this point, willing to do whatever it takes to get the Dragon Balls, even if it means destroying a village. Vegeta isn't automatically a hero for fighting Frieza, he's still a villain with little remorse for others. After Frieza's defeat and Vegeta's resurrection, he lives on Earth, not as a reformed man, but a patient one. All he can think about is fighting Goku again to get some closure after losing to him, so he's biding his time until the rematch. Picture him in the DMV. The worst kind. Kakarot! This time I will defeat you! Sir, you have to wait 3 years and deal with the 2 androids. Fine. Kakarot! There's no escape! Sir, Goku is suffering from a heart failure. You have to wait until he's back in good health, and you need to take out the other androids. Kakarot! Now I will teach you! Sir, Goku is dead. You need to wait 7 years until he's resurrected for a day for the World Martial Arts Tournament. Kakarot! I've been waiting for this day. With thousands watching, I will show them all the extent of my— Sir, you have to wait until the wizard Bobbidi— After bottling up his frustration for so long, Vegeta willingly surrenders himself to Bobbidi, awakening the evil in his heart after his life on Earth made him more easygoing.
I wanted to go back to being the cold-blooded Saiyan I'd been in the beginning, the one who didn't care about anything except besting you in one-on-one combat. I wasn't happy!
He massacres a crowd and contributes in Majin Buu's return, with no concern for what happens after that. Even after sacrificing himself to save his son Trunks, he doesn't count as a good person. Yamcha's wish to revive all the innocent people didn't include Vegeta. It was during the final battle against Kid Buu where Vegeta drops his ego and accepts that Goku is stronger. He wishes for all the good people back to life, and doing so officially makes him one of them. Years after his arrival on Earth, the lineup of enemies gradually made him the world-famous DBZ hero he is today. He is stubborn after all. But no matter how intimidating and sinister the new baddie is, not every redemption is earned. Let's talk about Darth Vader. In the original trilogy, Vader was a major threat for the ragtag group of rebels to go up against. He killed Luke Skywalker's mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, tortured his friend Han Solo, cut his hand off, and he was an accomplice in the destruction of Leia's peace-loving home planet. How can he ever be a good person after all that? Oh, he's Luke and Leia's dad. That makes up for everything! In Return of the Jedi, he's written as less evil than before thanks to the new villain, the Emperor. He's not as murder-happy since we have the Emperor calling the shots.
I hope so, Commander, for your sake. The Emperor is not as forgiving as I am.
Luke, the nicest man in the galaxy, keeps trying to convince Vader that he's actually good deep down. As the Emperor tases Luke with Force Lightning, he pleads Vader to save him. After his mental and moral struggle, he kills the Emperor at the cost of his life. And after doing that one thing, he gets to go to Jedi Heaven. Okay, I get this is a happy ending and a lot of people love it, but redemption on this scale doesn't happen in 5 minutes. This doesn't fully reform him after years of tyrannical horror. And I hate that Vader overshadows Owen, Luke's real father. Owen raised Luke since he was a baby and loved him like every father should. Owen did the hard part, and I am not letting that deadbeat Vader get any of the glory.
If you're that baby's daddy, where you been at?
Vader also pushes the toxic trope that someone will quickly be forgiven just because they're related to you. It's alright if your dad tortures you or tries to kill you. It's perfectly fine if he makes you watch your home getting blown up because he's family. And family means giving infinite chances no matter how horrible he treats you or others. Never take unacceptable crap from someone, no matter their relation to you. Family takes effort. If you love your family and if you're good deep down, you would never do any of this. Another problem with Method 1 is that the older villain's personality could be drastically different from before. Ocelot in the Metal Gear Solid games is a scheming, sadistic mastermind with an affinity for theatrics, until Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. In this game, he's the logical voice of reason. Whenever a fight breaks out, he intervenes with, "Alright, break it up." True, he's being 100% honest here since he's on the protagonistic side as opposed to the past games. But why is his disposition so stale? Are you telling me he was always this bland?
So you're the one that the boss keeps talking about. And you, Special Operations Foxhound. Revolver Ocelot.
The name's Ocelot. Big boss. You know who I am. A certain man gave me a job to do. 2, actually. First was to get you out of that hospital.
He was nicer to the player in Metal Gear Solid 3, and he had that twisted but fun, catty Ocelot charm. Method 2. Same look, different character. As famous as a villain is, not all of them can come back, either because they're dead or they're way too evil. But they look so engrossing. In a compromise, create someone in the same universe who resembles the old villain and doesn't have the same guilty history. The T-800 Terminator is a rad-looking killer robot, and with Arnold Schwarzenegger being a superstar after the 80s, you couldn't make him the villain again, with an exception. In Terminator 2 Judgment Day, a different T-800 model in the same category of cyborgs is sent back in time to protect the Connor family, opposite to the first movie where the Terminator's objective was to kill. The T-800 has the same appearance, but is leagues more innocent and downright endearing by the end. Mystique from the X-Men movies has been rewritten in X-Men First Class to be one of the top-tier heroes. She has a new backstory as Professor X's adopted sister, and she's an idol to young mutants after Days of Future Past. Yeah, this is supposedly in the same continuity as the earlier movies, but I am not buying that these two are the same person. We have 3 different angels! The new hero doesn't have to be identical to the old villain or share the same nomenclature. You can introduce someone from the same species of creatures and convert the image into a more positive one. The Skeksis are the most standout characters of the Jim Henson classic, The Dark Crystal. They are creepy, power-hungry dictators. Except for one, Skekra the Heretic in the prequel series Age of Resistance. He's well-meaning and funny. It did take some getting used to seeing a Gelfling work with the Skeksis. Plus, his roommate is his mystic counterpart, Ergo! Back to Jurassic World. The primary raptor of these movies, Blue, is one of the heroes fighting the Indominus Rex and the Indoraptor. Her BFF is Andy from Parks and Rec. How could we hate her? And Method 3, Different Universe. Different universe, we meet again. Take a villain and place them in a reboot with a fresh start, detached from their older versions. Remember when Maleficent got her own movie? She was made to look a lot less nefarious compared to the animated classic Sleeping Beauty. Her skin isn't green, and she doesn't turn into a dragon. Her bird sidekick does. If she did turn into a dragon, it would make her scary, and we can't have that. She's been ostracized by the nearby kingdom and double-crossed by her childhood best friend. She's a victim, and almost everything she does is justified. She did curse Aurora with eternal sleep, but after becoming besties with her, she undoes it herself. This method can contradict the status quo and themes of their original versions. The spunky Harley Quinn is up there as one of the top-rated Batman villains, probably the most fun of the rogues gallery. But she is willing to hurt or murder innocent people. In modern versions like the DC Extended Universe, Injustice, or her own animated series, she's set as an anti-hero instead, sometimes working with Batman. I mean, she fights an evil goddess in Suicide Squad. Her partnership with the Joker has misled a ton of people into thinking they're a cute couple who understand each other and go against conventional romance. Screw you, Romeo and Juliet, I want what these two have. Where's my pudding? Joker and Harley are not a cute couple. This is an abusive relationship that further proves how despicable of a human being Joker is. He yells at her, beats her, does not care if she dies. No matter what he does to her, Harley will always come back to him because she thinks he's her soulmate. But they're recognized in pop culture as a loving couple, so at the end of Suicide Squad, they are. I know they split in Birds of Prey, but let's focus on what Suicide Squad was doing. There's a shred of an arc where Joker learns that he does love Harley. He leaves her to drown at first, but later in the movie, he actively goes on 2 rescue missions for her. He could have sent his henchmen instead, but he went himself. When the film wraps up, they're portrayed as sweet. In traditional versions, Joker would never risk his life for someone he deems disposable.
Okay, let's go.
No, because I'm waiting for
Joker. Yeah, I got it. You know how long you've been saying that? Calendar in?
Oh, hi! Exactly 1 year today, Ivy.
In some recent interpretations, she's over him. Her appearance also reflects her change. Her color scheme went from red and black to red, white, and blue, making her more marketable. With a few exceptions, she's generally written as an anti-hero these days. The good side with this method is that we feel more comfortable rooting for the guys we were introduced to since they're not bad anymore. My favorite takes on Method 3 are Cannon Broly and GMK Ghidorah. Ghidorah was the monster that led to Godzilla becoming a hero. So in 2001's Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah Giant Monsters All-Out Attack, it's fitting to have Godzilla the villain versus Ghidorah the hero. Ghidorah gained support of the audience by starting out as a wingless, depowered dragon fighting the terrifying Godzilla. He gains wings, grows stronger, and we get this cathartic feeling when he pushes Godzilla back into the water. Broly, the mega buff legendary Super Saiyan that blew us away in his debut, was never a good villain. He was a raging child with stupid, unrelatable motives. But he looks so cool! I want to like him, but he has no substance. In Dragon Ball Super Broly, he was rewritten as an innocent space Tarzan who's thrown into a series of clashes. Now he's a likable caveman. Broly and Kakarot. Friends. What's the opposite effect, where good guys become villains?
You now face the terror of
Dr. Fruity. The doctor part means I'm evil now.
Usually when a hero isn't received well enough, they end up dead or go through a sucky life. The Starbucks command! If a hero later becomes a villain, it's either because the writers planned on it or because the hero was unpopular or even hated. Scrappy-Doo was reviled among Scooby-Doo fans, so for the 2002 movie, we'll make him the chief architect behind the uprising of monsters. I get that the movie wanted fans to click with it, but this is pandering to Scrappy haters. Yeah, Scrappy sucks. Am I right, dog? This is so against the character Scrappy is. Scrappy was the fearless kid of Mystery Inc., brave enough to fight these so-called monsters head-on. And look at him in this movie, brainwashing MTV background dancers and trying to kill his uncle. Although he did kick Scrappy out. This is a mean movie. The hero doesn't have to be completely unpopular to be a villain, but less popular than another hero. And doing so can be a disservice to the hero that the project doesn't favor and suck up to the one that it does favor at such an annoying degree.
She's had enough, Wonder Bread.
This isn't your business, clown.
You heard bats. No killing.
You lecture me. How much blood is on your ledger, Quinn?
Oh, bucket's full, honey. I was trying too hard to impress the wrong guy. Kinda like you with Superman.
I have my gripes with the Injustice games for demonizing Superman and Wonder Woman. I just want an Injustice 2 for Ninja Turtles and Hellboy. When Superman and Batman are at war with each other, 9 times out of 10, Superman is the bad guy. The premise betrays Superman's virtues and overhypes Batman. Batman resonates with gamers more, so our perfect, incorruptible peak of swagger will take that alien down. I know why this Superman turned evil. The death of Lois Lane thanks to the Joker pushed him over the edge so much he becomes a fascist.
If they prefer chaos, I'll give it to them. Metropolis and Gotham, I'll flatten them. Set an example.
Superheroes have lost loved ones before, and they didn't turn evil after that. He doesn't have my sympathy. Injustice Superman is only the powers. He's not the personality, he's not the principles, and he's not the soul. He's General Zod with the Superman color palette. And in the upcoming Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, he's the bad guy again!
What? Again? You're gonna fucking do it again?
If we have to choose between Superman or the more popular Harley Quinn, it's gonna be Harley Quinn. She's the hero. Yeah, screw Superman. I don't care if he's under mind control or he's dealing with grief. This is so anti-Superman. The most interesting example of heroes becoming bad guys is Jason Todd. The second Robin was not loved by fans that much, so when they were given the choice to let him live or die in 1988 by making a phone call, the vote was to kill him. In 2004, Jason was brought back as the villain Red Hood. And here's the ironic part. Red Hood was so popular among fans, he's now a mainstay as an anti-hero. So Jason started out as a hated sidekick, then was elected to die. 2 decades later, he's brought back as a bad guy, but Method 1 was applying to him, fighting bad guys alongside Batman, and now he leans on the side of heroes. Where was the love for Jason before? Villains have been changing to good for a long time. It can be deserved and add to a character's development, or contrived and amount to nothing but fan service. A redemption arc, a doppelganger, or a new take in another world. If a villain is that popular, they'll be a hero soon enough. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and feel free to comment what you think about villains becoming good guys or vice versa. Till next time.